There is a moment in every man's life when he realizes that being a man is not just about becoming strong. It's not about having money. It's not about having a good body. It's not about driving an expensive car, wearing expensive clothes, or being admired by everyone around you. One day, you may stand in front of a woman you love, and she may look into your eyes and ask a question without saying a word. Can I trust you with my heart? And one day, if God blesses you with children, your son may look at you and wonder, what does it mean to be a man? And your daughter may look at you and wonder, how should a man treat a woman he loves? And in those moments, your life will become your answer. Because a godly husband isn't simply a man who wears a wedding ring. He is a man who understands the weight of the covenant behind it. A man who doesn't just say, I love you, but lives in a way that makes those words believable. The world tells men to become powerful, but God calls men to become faithful. The world tells men to chase women, but God calls a man to become the kind of man who can love one woman faithfully. The world says, take whatever you want. But Jesus teaches us something completely different. Love is sacrifice. And perhaps that's where becoming a godly husband begins. Not with finding the perfect woman, but with becoming the right man. You cannot lead a family toward God if you refuse to follow God yourself. A man can be intelligent, successful, ambitious, respected, but if he doesn't know how to surrender his life to God, then all his strength can become dangerous, because leadership without character becomes control, confidence without humility becomes pride, and authority without love becomes oppression. That's why the first question isn't, what kind of wife do I want? The first question is, what kind of man am I becoming? Before you ask God for a godly woman, ask God to make you a godly man. A man who knows how to pray when nobody's watching. A man who opens his Bible not because he wants to look religious, but because he genuinely wants to know God. A man who can say, Lord, correct me. Lord, change me. Lord, remove the things inside me that don't look like you. Because marriage doesn't magically fix a man's character. Marriage reveals it. If you are selfish before marriage, marriage will expose your selfishness. If you are dishonest, marriage will eventually reveal your dishonesty. If you cannot control your anger, marriage will test it. If you are addicted to pornography, marriage will not automatically heal you. If you have never learned to take responsibility, marriage will force you to confront it. So before you ask God for a wife, let God work on the man in the mirror. Because one day, someone may build her entire future around the man you choose to become today. The Bible gives husbands a standard that is almost frightening in its depth. Ephesians 5:25 says, Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Notice what the Bible doesn't say. It doesn't say, husbands, control your wives. It doesn't say, husbands, demand respect. It says, love. And not ordinary love, Christ-like love, the kind of love that sacrifices, the kind of love that serves, the kind of love that stays when things become difficult. Because anyone can love someone when everything is beautiful, when she's smiling, when the money is flowing, when the relationship is easy. But what happens when life becomes heavy? What happens when she is tired, when she is afraid, when she doesn't have the words to explain what she's feeling? A godly husband doesn't immediately ask, what's wrong with you? He asks, how can I help you? He doesn't treat his wife like an enemy he needs to defeat. He treats her like someone he has been entrusted to love, because your wife is not your possession, she is your partner, your companion. Learn how to communicate, learn how to manage money, learn how to forgive, learn how to pray, and most importantly, learn how to love God, because the greatest gift you can give your future wife is not a perfect life. It's a husband who knows where to run when life isn't perfect. A man who can say, "I don't have everything figured out, but I know who we can trust. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know the one who holds tomorrow." That's the kind of man a family can build a life with. One day, you may stand before God, and He may not ask you how many women wanted you. He may not ask you how attractive you were. He may not ask you how many followers you had. He may not ask you how impressive your career looked, but you will have to answer for the life you were given, the people you were entrusted with, the love you were called to give. So don't spend your youth only trying to become a man that the world applauds. Become a man that God can trust. A man who loves when it's difficult, a man who stays when it's easier to leave, a man who chooses purity when nobody is watching, a man who chooses truth when lying would be easier, a man who serves instead of demanding, a man who leads without controlling, a man who protects without possessing, a man who apologizes without excuses, a man who prays for his family. And with his family, because at the end of the day, being a godly husband isn't about being the perfect man, it's about becoming a man whose life points his family toward Christ. So if you're waiting for your future wife, don't just pray, "God, give me a good woman." Pray, "God, make me a good man. Make me faithful, make me humble, make me patient, make me disciplined, make me selfless. Make me strong enough to serve." And when the day finally comes, when you stand beside the woman God has entrusted to you, may she look at you and know, "This is a man who loves God. This is a man I can trust. This is a man who will fight for our family." And when your children look at you, may they not only hear you talk about God, may they see God reflected in the way you live. Because the greatest legacy a man can leave isn't his money. It isn't his house. It isn't his name. It's the people who became better because they were loved by him. So become that man, not tomorrow, not when you get married. Start now, because before God gives you the responsibility of leading a family, He may first be preparing you to become the man your family will need. And maybe that's what this season of your life is really about. Not finding her, but becoming him. The man God is calling you to be.